Hello, everyone. My name is David Keller. Today we'll be going over the Flint water crisis. So, how did it start? It began on April 25th, 2014, when the city changed its drinking water supply from Detroit's system to the Flint River. However, adequate testing of the water quality was not conducted prior to this change. Flint was home to many places that polluted the Flint River over time, and at the time of this pipe switch, the water was highly corrosive. This acidic water entered old pipes, and the pipes leached lead into the water entering people's homes. 17% of the samples tested for lead were above the federal action level of 15 parts per billion, and another 40% measured above 5 parts per billion, according to the NRDC. To make matters worse, the low chlorine residual in the treated water allowed it to transport Legionnaire's disease and fecal coliform bacteria. The corrective measure of adding more chlorine created a byproduct of total trihalomethanes, which are a known carcinogen. As the federal government was forced to take action, the governor of Michigan, Rick Snyder, was a big part of handling the crisis, along with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality and the EPA. Although it was mishandled, there have been many improvements in the Flint water quality now. NSF-approved filters can be used to filter out lead. In addition, although the project is not complete, the EPA is monitoring pipe replacement for lead service lines in Flint homes. The EPA even lists phone numbers residents can call for free testing kits and water filters. Short-term improvements consisted of the SWDA requiring notification to residents not to use the water until it was tested and monitored and deemed safe. Another short-term solution was using bottled water donated by many people to serve the Flint community. The long-term goal for Flint to meet the requirements of the EPA without the use of filters is to switch to a different source of water. Filters must be cleaned or changed weekly to operate at maximum efficiency and fulfill their functions. The EPA on August 3, 2016, deemed filtered water safe for everyone within the community. The same year, the EPA also amended the Safe Water Drinking Act emergency order to accommodate the city's desire for a new water source with specific guidelines, such as construction of a new pipeline connecting to the current water treatment plant to a new source of water. They must also treat the source water for at least 3 months prior to use, and they must prove compliance with the SWDA for corrosion control treatment and water quality monitoring. An EPA report found the state of Michigan was at fault for the crisis due to poor oversight, but placed the majority of the blame on the MDEQ, or the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. This has resulted in many lawsuits facing those responsible in Michigan. Some charges include involuntary manslaughter, misconduct in office, tampering with evidence, a monitoring violation of the SWDA, a treatment violation of the Michigan's SWDA, obstruction of justice, and lying to a police officer, among other charges. In addition, there have been a lot of civil lawsuits against victims of the crisis in the state. Some cases and charges are still pending. This concludes the brief overview of the Flint water crisis. I hope you learned a few things and now have more information on the issue. Lead poisoning in children is detrimental to their development, and the Legionnaire's incident resulted in many deaths. This crisis impacted many people, and the government, both local and federal, are ensuring justice for those responsible as well as settlements for those affected. This crisis was very effective in showing why proper water quality monitoring is important and how non-compliance with EPA regulations can impact lives. The original intent for the switch was to save money. What it costed them was money, the trust of the people, human health and wellness, and most importantly, lives.